say this matrix, which is the perspective projection transformation matrix. So what this matrix will give you means this will give you the description of a scene uh, in homogeneous parallel projection coordinate system. So you would have seen this frustum view. You would have seen this frustum view volume, the one which is in the form of a pyramid. So this volume can have any orientation. So this volume, you see this volume can have any orientation, meaning any angle, any rotation. So so that this transformed coordinates will correspond to an oblique parallel projection. So when this will occur means when the view volume is not symmetric. So we have seen this frustum view volume. So this frustum view volume can have any orientation. So that is any kind of rotation, any value of rotation. So when this happens, the transform coordinates will correspond to an oblique parallel projection. So this will occur whenever whenever this view volume is not symmetric. So if the view volume is symmetric, then the parallel projection coordinates will correspond to the orthogonal projection. So two cases will come. So when it is symmetric, so we will have we will have oblique parallel projection. So when it is like when it is not symmetric, so when it is symmetric means we will have the orthogonal projection. So these are the two possibilities which we will discuss in today's class. So it is based on the transformation matrix and this rectangular frustum view volume. So this is the one which is an a first case. This case is an example of symmetric perspective projection frustum. So you can see the symmetry. There is one line. There is one line which is dividing this view volume into two parts. So So what is this? So what is this symmetric perspective projection frustum? See here, the line from the reference point. See the line from the reference point through the center of the clipping window and through the view volume and on like here the line is coming from the reference point. Then so the line is coming from the reference point. So this is the reference point. Then through the clipping window. So it is at the center of the clipping window and then to the view volume and then through the view volume. So this is the view volume. Then through the view volume. This is the center line. So this is the center line of the frustum. So this is the center line of this perspective projection frustum. So if the center line is perpendicular, if this center line, so we know how the center line is going. So if the center line is perpendicular to the view plane, so if this line is perpendicular to the view plane, so the line which is drawn now, which I have highlighted, so this line, uh, so this line, so if this line is perpendicular to the view plane, then we will have symmetric symmetric frustum. So that is what it is shown in this figure. So now what you can infer from this frustum is, see, you can see that this line, I'll just erase this. So this line is intersecting the view plane. So this line is intersecting the view plane at the position x PRP. So x projection reference point, y projection reference point, and z VP. So you can see that the frustum line, the center line, the frustum center line, it is intersecting the view plane at the position um, which is given by XPRP, YPRP. So you can express the corner position for the clipping. You can express the corner positions for the clipping. So the corner positions can be these two. You can express the corner position for the clipping in terms of window dimension. So you can express the corner clipping for this window or the corner position for this clipping window in terms of this clipping window, in terms of this clipping window dimension. So that's why you can see x window minimum is given by xprp minus width by 2, because it is passing through the center, no? So that is like, so see, this side you can take it as a minus and this side you can take it as the plus. So like that we are calculating. So this will be, if you take this as the window minimum position, and this will be maximum position. So this is the window, right? This will be the window. So this will be the minimum position, minimum of xy value, and this will be maximum of xy value. So if it is the point is at somewhere between, so this will correspond to minus and this will correspond to plus. So we are talking the data or the positions in terms of window dimensions. So x window minimum is given by xprp minus width by 2, x maximum is xprp plus width by 2. So when you're talking about the width, so width, why width? So just maths, that's all. So square, right? The rectangle. So this is x-axis. So this corresponds to the x-axis. So this is the x-axis. So in x-axis, so this will be x minimum. This will be x maximum. So this will corresponds to the, this is the width portion. This is the width portion of the rectangular window. And when you are talking about the y portion, so y will talk about the height. The y-axis will talk about the height. So that's why x window minimum is xprp minus width by 2. X window maximum is xprp plus width by 2. So y window minimum is yprp minus height by 2. So this like this, it is coming down. And x max is the high the position x yprp plus height by 2. So like this. So the window, using this, the positions are given using this window dimension. So so you can also, since we are using this x window minimum, x window maximum, y window minimum, and y window maximum, so you can specify the symmetric perspective projection view using the width and height itself, um, instead of using the Windows coordinate system also. Why? Because this will give you the position of the clipping window, which is symmetric about the x-axis and y-axis with respect to the projection reference point. So this is one way. So this is one way of representing the symmetric window. So another way is to use the parameters which will approximate the lens value, which will approximate the properties of camera lens. Like a photograph is produced in symmetric projection onto the film plane from the scene. So the reflected rays will be coming from the object in the scene, or the rays which are coming from the object in the scene will be collected on the film plane. So which we will call it as the cone or the vision of the camera. So like, see, like this. So if this is an object means, there are rays which are coming from this part, it will be collected like that. So you can just visualize that it's an replication of camera thing. So see, one thing is using the height and width. The second thing is using the properties of the camera lens. The photograph, how the photograph will be produced means, if you just capture an image, the rays from that object, the reflected rays from the object within the frame will be collected on the film film plane. So so whatever is within the range of the lens, that will be captured. So this is known as the range in which the images, or this cone of vision of the camera, so which is also known as the field of view angle. So within that angle, all the all the objects will be captured. So that is that using this cam field of vision, or this cone of vision or the field of view angle, so you can measure the size of the camera lens also. So a larger value of this angle, say larger value of this angle will refer to the wider angle lens. So if this theta is larger means the camera is like the lens angle is very wide. So so the same thing, so this is with respect to the camera point. So this cone of vision is approximated. So this cone of vision is approximated with the symmetric frustum. So the cone which we are considering the camera, it is the symmetric frustum in computer graphics application. So you can specify there the field of view angle, right? You can use the field of angle as the angle between the top clipping plane and the bottom clipping plane for a frustum. So you can see here some theta is there, no? So what is this theta? It is the field of view angle, which is the angle between the top clipping plane. So this is the top clipping plane and the bottom clipping plane. So this is what is given in this figure. So this figure, using this figure, you can see the theta value. So um, for a given projection point, so for a given projection point and the view plane position, the field of angle, though, so this angle will decide the height of the clipping window, which is given in this part. So here you can see that for a given reference point, for a given projection reference point, and the view plane position you can calculate the height. You can calculate the height of the clipping window. So that is given in this, the image which is on the right hand side. So you can also have additional parameters which will define the clipping window dimension, which can be like the aspect ratio, or which can be like the width of the clipping window. So all this is maths. Okay, this is maths. So using maths we have derived this. So you know that sin theta is equal to opposite by adjacent, cos theta is equal to, sorry, opposite by hypotenuse, and cos will be like adjacent by hypotenuse, no? So like that, using the basic formulas of trigonometry, they are deriving this. So tan theta is equal to, so tan theta means this one, so theta. So tan theta is nothing but opposite by, it will be like opposite by adjacent. So opposite is given by height factor. So opposite is nothing but height. Adjacent is this line. So this line is given by ZPRP minus ZVP. ZPRP minus ZVP. So this is the tan theta, but you need not have tan theta. So the angle is divided into two parts. So the you need not have the complete angle. So we are drawing, since it is a symmetric projection, we are drawing a line which divides this angle into two parts. So we need just theta by 2. So when I'm talking about theta by 2, the height is also divided. The height is also divided. So this height is equally divided. So it will be like height by 2. So this is how this tan theta is derived. So it is calculation, that's all. So whatever you are seeing here is, it is a calculation. So what I said, from the given reference point and this view plane position, the field of angle will give you the height of the clipping window. So you can also you can also determine the other parameters like the width of the window and the aspect ratio of the clipping window. So by using the trigonometric formulas, we have arrived that tan theta is given as tan theta is equal to height by ZPRP minus ZVP. So tan theta by 2 will be the half of the height divided by the difference between Z projection point and Z view plane. So using this, okay. So using this, you can calculate height also. So how to calculate height means, how to calculate height. So we have tan theta by 2 is equal to height height uh, by, so height by 2, no? So this 2 will come to the denominator. It will be like 2 into ZPRP minus ZVP. So if I shift this to the right hand side, the height will be equal to, height is equal to 2 times 2 times the difference between ZPRP minus ZVP into tan theta by 2. So this is the, using this formula, you can calculate the height also. Using this formula, you can calculate the height also, and also you can calculate this ZPRP minus ZVP. So the how you can calculate this means, um, so ZPRP minus ZVP, no? So this, how to calculate that ZPRP means, so how to calculate the difference between this ZPRP minus ZPVP means, which formula? I'll consider this only. It will be like I'll just multiply. I'll just multiply. I'll do it in steps. Tan theta by 2 into 2 into Z PRP minus ZVP is equal to height. So this is the first step. So this is the first step. So after this, I will shift it to the right hand side. So this height will become height by 2. So this will get eliminated. So again, I will shift this tan theta by 2 also. So again, I will move it to the right hand side of this equal symbol. So this will become 2 into tan of theta by 2. So 2 into tan of theta by 2. So you know that 1 by tan theta is equal to cot theta. So 1 by tan theta is nothing but uh, the cot theta. So you can write this. You can write this as I'll write it here because of space constraint. Height into tan. No, tan means cot theta by 2. So this is the formula to find ZPRP minus ZVP. Um, so like this you can calculate the other factors also. See, in some graphic libraries, you having the fixed position. You'll be having the fixed position for the view plane and the projection reference point, so that the symmetric perspective projection will have the complete field of view angle, so that the aspect ratio for the clipping window and the distance from the viewing position to the near and far clipping uh, planes. So that is how the graphic libraries support. So if the field of angle is decreased in some applications, the shortening effect of a perspective projection will also get decreased. So this is which is it is like comparing a compare. It's like a comparison of moving the projection reference point away from the view plane, so that decreasing this field of the view angle will also decrease the height of the clipping window. See, we have seen some images, right? Yesterday also we saw the three cases. One where clipping window was nearer to the where we saw these cases, I think. See, the clipping window, the reference point is nearer to the clipping window, far away from the clipping window, and very far away from the clipping window. The same scenarios. So, um, how it is like, so like as you move this projection point away from the clipping window, so it is also um, the height is also getting changed. Like, see, increasing the size, increasing the angle will also increase the height of the clipping window. Increasing the size of this field angle, it will also increase the height of the uh, clipping window. So that you can keep it in mind. So that example you can keep it in mind. So for example, mm, for example, when when the angle is 20 degree, so when the angle is 20 degree, when the angle is 20 degree, this will be my clipping window height. So when the angle is 45 degree, so you just assume it as 45 degree, the height of the clipping window will be this much. When the angle is 75 degree, when the angle is 75 degree, so the height of the clipping window will be more than that. So increasing this angle, so increasing this field angle theta, what effect it will have means it is increasing the height of the clipping window also. It is increasing the height of the clipping window also. So this point you should remember. um, that's also, this is what we can refer with respect to the angle. With respect to the angle, it is like zooming in, it is like zooming in. So okay, so okay, so that's all. So this is the effect of theta with respect to the clipping window height. So next, so this is another case. So this is another case. So there the angle was, so there you can see it was symmetric. So it was dividing this cone into equal parts, but here it is, the line is at some angle. So here the line is at some angle. So this we will call it as oblique perspective projection first term. So any doubt with respect to this symmetric perspective projection first term? So equations are there. So if you remember this diagram, so you see, if you remember, see, this is easy to remember. The clipping window, you have to calculate four values, x window minimum, x window maximum, based on the width and height. And after that, if you remember this equation, if you remember this image, using this image itself, you can calculate the various factors like height, ZPRP, and tan theta. So you can represent each of them with respect to the equations. So any doubts with respect to this? Any doubt with respect to the first concept? Um, any doubts? So if not, we'll just proceed with the next one. Okay. So I assume that don't have any doubts in this. So we'll proceed with the next one. So the next one is oblique perspective projection frustum. So here, what do you mean by this oblique perspective projection frustum? Means here this line is there, no? This frustum center line. So here this frustum center line, it is not perpendicular. It is not perpendicular to this view volume. So when this line is perpendicular to the view volume, we will get we will get the symmetric perspective projection. When this frustum center line is not perpendicular to the view volume, we will get the oblique frustum. So from the image itself, you can see uh, the general. So from this image itself, you can make out that it is not um, perpendicular. This line, this frustum center line is not uh, perpendicular. So so in this case, what we can do means, so how to handle this kind of situation. So how to get the points, how to get the clipping window, so all these things, how we can handle in case of oblique perspective projection frustum. So this image, um, it's a general one of this oblique perspective projection. So now what we can do means, first we should transform this kind of frustum into a symmetric frustum, and then to the normalized view volume. So that is how you can make the transformation. So this oblique perspective projection frustum can be converted into the symmetric frustum by applying the shear transformation along z-axis. So the one which has given us it is a general appearance of an oblique perspective projection view volume. So in this case, what we can do means, first we can convert this kind of frustum into the symmetric frustum, and then to the normalized view volume. So why we are converting, or how we are converting this is, see, this projection, this oblique projection frustum can be converted into the symmetric form by applying the shear transformation along the z-axis, So what this transformation will do? So the transformation is given x, y, z axis. So z-axis. So that's why z parameters are given with some shear values. The other values are zero, and along it's an identity matrix where the diagonal elements are one, and this is the z parameter. So the z parameter along this z parameter along x-axis, z parameter along y-axis. So since we are talking about the shear transformation along the z-axis, so we have some parameter. So this will give you the shear value. What this transformation matrix? So what this transformation matrix will do? So what this transformation matrix will do means, it will shift all the positions on any plane which is perpendicular to the z-axis by an amount which is proportional to the distance of the plane from the specified z-axis reference point. So we need to in order to convert, we should have a transformation along the z-axis, the shear transformation along the z-axis. What this transformation will do means, it will shift all the positions on the plane which is perpendicular to the z-axis by an amount which is proportional to the distance of the plane from the specified ZPRP, from the specified z-axis reference point. Which, see here, the from the specified point to the z-axis reference point means z-axis reference point is nothing but z PRP. So it is the projection point of z coordinate. So and also we should shift and also we need to shift it by an amount. We need to shift it by an amount which will move the line, which will move this center line to the position given by the x projection point and y projection point on the view plane. Why we are shifting this to the center means because for the symmetric one, the center line will pass us through the center of the clipping window, so that the line will become perpendicular to the view volume. So the line will become perpendicular to the view volume. So for all these things, this computation is being done. So this computation is being done. Uh, so for this, for how to get this transformation means, um, see how to get this transformation means we'll make this x PRP, y PRP, and z PRP to be at the origin. So to be at the origin. So why we are taking it as origin means the calculations will get reduced if we take this projection reference point to be at the origin, and also there will be no loss. There will be no loss by translating all the coordinate positions in the scene with respect to our selected projection reference point by taking it to the coordinate origin. So this is how it can be done. So how the graphic packages will do means they will take the projection reference point, this xprp, yprp, and zprp as 0 0. So by doing that they will obtain this matrix. They will obtain this matrix from this projection point to be at the location 0 0 0. So after that, um, so after that, you can simplify this. You can also simplify this matrix. You can also simplify this matrix if you are placing one parameter called z near. If you are placing the view plane at the position which is nearer to the clipping plane. So if you are placing the view plane at a position which is nearer to the clipping plane, so that we can move the center of the clipping window to the coordinate positions 0 0 on the view plane. So for that for that this is the calculation. For that this is the calculation or the parameters. Or for that, in order to do that, so you can also simplify this. Once the transformation is done, you can simplify the elements. You can simplify the elements of the projection perspective matrix by placing the view plane at a position near the clipping plane. So how you can do that? Because or how it is done or why it is done, because you want to move the center of the clipping window to the coordinate positions 0 0 0 on the view plane. So for doing that you can choose the parameters, like uh, this which is written here. So by using this, you will get the parameters for sh, zx, and sh, zy, which is given by minus x window minimum plus. So these parameters, first one and second one. So these two parameters. So you are able to obtain the parameters for this z shear transformation. So so this two values can be obtained. So similarly you can also um, similarly you can also um, get the matrix. So the matrix which we had seen here, the matrix which we have seen here, the matrix which we had seen here will get simplified to the matrix which have written here, the matrix. So this is a simplified version. This is a simplified version. So the z coordinate scaling, and this will be determined by the normalized requirement. So this will be determined by the normalization requirement. For the normalized values, that will determine this scaling parameter and translation parameter for um, for the z-axis. So similarly, so you can see uh, you're joining the perspective matrix with the shear transformation to get the final one, to get the projection reference transformation, which is at the origin, and nearer to the clipping plane. So first thing is we found out one at the origin. First thing is the first case was at the origin and the second case was nearer to the viewing plane. So you're joining those two, you're joining those two matrices, the transformation matrix and the perspective matrix, to get a transformation which is at the viewing coordinate origin, and it is also at the near clipping plane. So this is the matrix which you are getting. So here you can see this. So where where these two values are replaced with x min and these values, you can check it out. So these values, it is replaced with uh, these values. um, so this is a um, so this it's a simplified version. It's a simplified version um, where you are joining the two matrices. So um, okay, so this is the matrix. You just look into this matrix, you just see what and all changes has been done. So what is the advantage of this matrix means? So this matrix will give you an like this is an efficient method. So this is an efficient method for generating the perspective projection view. It is an efficient method for generating a perspective projection view for a scene, without sacrificing the flexibility. So this is an efficient method. So here you can also choose this X window. um, you can also choose, like, you can also simplify with X window maximum with the X window minimum, and Y window maximum with the Y window minimum, so that the frustum view volume will be symmetric, and the projection reference point will be at the origin. So this is simplified one. So this is simplified. Why we are using this matrix, or what is the usage of this matrix means? It will produce a projection perspective view matrix without making any sacrifice with respect to the flexibility. So without making any changes to the flexibility. So that is the one thing. And also what this matrix will give us means, it will transform the object positions in the viewing coordinate system to the perspective projection homogeneous coordinate system. So so whenever we are dividing the homogeneous coordinates by the homogeneous coordinate parameter, like whenever you're dividing xh by h, yh by h, so we can obtain the orthogonal projection coordinates, like where, like, they are the actual projection coordinates. So by using this perspective projection, we can transform all the points that are there within the frustum view volume to a position in the rectangular parallel piped view volume. So this will be the final step in the perspective projection transformation process, where you will be mapping this where you will be mapping this where you will be mapping this um, where you are mapping this parallel piped one into the normalized view volume. So where you are mapping is done. So you can see the mapping. So this is X window minimum, Y window minimum, and Z near. And this is X window maximum, Y window maximum, and Z for. So this is getting normalized into the coordinate system -1, -1, -1. So it is a symmetric one. So it will be in the range of -1 to +1. So this is the final step. So this is the final step which we are following in the projection transformation, where we are mapping this parallel piped one to the normalized view volume. So see, the procedure is same. The procedure is same which we had used for the parallel projection, where the view volume, this is the frustum view volume. which was represented with X window maximum, Y window maximum, and Z near and Z far. You can check this. You can check the same thing in the parallel projection also. So what we are doing is we are looking for the normalization. So we are just normalizing that. Mm, why we are normalizing that? Um, means see from the previous transformation matrix so this one from this from this mat from this matrix. So what we obtained means um, we had already included the normalization parameters for the z coordinate in this matrix itself, but also we needed to determine the values of this parameter whenever we are transforming this to the cube. Cube in the sense this normalization. So we wanted to determine this transformation parameters with respect to the x-axis and y-axis, and also the center line of this and also the center line of this uh, parallel piped volume was the z. It was a z view axis. So for that no translation were needed in respect to the x and y transformation or the x and y normalization. So we just required only the scaling. We just required only the scaling part. We just required only the x and y scaling with respect to the origin. So that's why you can see the translation is not there. Here we required only the scaling part. So that's why we are using the scaling along the x-axis and scaling along the y-axis. So joining the scaling matrix with the one which we had derived earlier, so we will get the final transformation matrix, um, which is given here, and also, and also, and also we have the homogeneous coordinates, which is represented by this formula xh is equal to the previous matrix, the matrix which we have obtained here into the coordinate positions, and also the projection coordinates is given by xp is equal to xh by h, yp is equal to yh by h, and zp is equal to zh by h. So these are the values for them. These are the values for them. Um, so for normalizing this, what we will do means we will replace this xp, yp, and zp with minus one, minus one, minus one. So, uh, so then the input coordinate. So how it will be like? See how we will normalize them. To normalize this perspective projection, so what we will do means we will replace this xp, yp, zp with minus 1 and minus 1 and minus 1 when the input coordinates means xyz, when the input coordinates are x window, this will be x window minimum, y window minimum, and this will be z near. So this will be z near. So this scenario, and also, so that's why, so x window minimum, y window minimum, z near is normalized to minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. Similarly, x window maximum, y window maximum, and z far will be normalized to 1, 1, 1. So, and we will get when xp, we'll get xp as 1, 1, 1. We'll get xp, yp, and zp as 1, 1, 1. When this x, y, z are being used with, and when all the coordinates are equal to xw maximum, yw maximum, and z will be z far. So using this kind of equations, which I mentioned now, using the equations which I mentioned now, you can calculate the values of this scaling along x-axis, um, scaling along y-axis, scaling along z-axis, and the translation, and the final transformation matrix, and the final transformation, and the normalized transformation matrix for the perspective projection is given by this one. Um, so this is one aspect. Um, and if you're considering this matrix with respect to the field of view angle means, again this will be replaced, again this two values, it will be replaced with angles like cot theta by 2 by the aspect ratio, and this will be cot theta by 2. So that is the one thing. So when you are looking into this perspective projection view volume in terms of the field of view angle, in terms of the field of view angle, so that will be the, so that this will be the one calculation which you're obtaining. So if you're not considering this with respect to the field of view angle, so this will be your perspective projection view matrix. So um, so like this. So this is the final transformations which is obtained, and also you can have one more transformation which I will discuss in the next class. So any doubts here? See here, one thing is you should remember the matrix value. So they are the one which will take care of transformation. So that is the thing. So many matrices are there. You just need to remember. See here, you should, so from this itself, first thing is you should know this transformation matrix and this value. So by using these two, you can start deriving the others. You can start deriving the others. So once that is done, the remaining will be like it's a multiplication. It's now not like a multiplication. It's like a concatenation. The joining of two matrices. So you can do that. Um, so this is with respect to the perspective projection frustum, where we are having two cases. One was a symmetric one, and the other one was the oblique one. So any doubts here? Any doubts with respect to these two topics which we discussed today? So if you understand the symmetric one, what we are doing is in oblique, we are trying to convert that to the symmetric and then to the normalized one. So that is the thing which we are following here. Any doubts? So you just practice these equations. If you don't have any doubts, means you practice these equations. So lot of equations are there. So when you're talking about this oblique, we have some two, three, at least 5 to 6 matrices are there. You try to remember this. You try to practice these equations. This cube and all, it's same. It's same as the previous one itself. So that can be remembered. So I'll just stop the class then. So whatever in the next class, we'll talk about the OpenGL 3D viewing transformation functions like GL, lookat, all this ortho 2D, all these functions are there. So we'll look at that in the next class. So I'll just stop the session now.